Hey everyone! Welcome back. I am back today with more of the Promised Neverland. You guys, I cannot wait to see what's going to happen next. If you're joining me early today, you already know what that means. It means you are one of my awesome patrons. Thank you so much, and as always, I'm sending you up those big old hugs right through that screen. And if not, still thank you for joining me today. I'm glad you're here. I do hope you'll consider supporting me that way. The link to my Patreon is going to be in the description down below. So, alright guys, it was great to catch up with our kids, our babies last time, but we had some tumultuous stuff going on, which we always will on this show, I have a feeling. But we caught up with our crew. It seems like it has not been very long since they escaped the farm, and we find out Emma is suffering from some kind of infection from her amateur ear surgery that gets infected. She's not well. Ray gets almost gets caught. He's being pursued by the demons, and is just about. I mean, like, I was shocked because I was like, oh my god, this must be part of Ray's plan, right? And he was like, nah, this is. He's like, I gotta keep going I gotta protect them, and I'm like, oh my god, Ray is like really pushed into a corner here, and then mysteriously, we have this little girl in the hood show up and kind of start to try and direct the children. Then the hooded male figure shows up and saves Ray, and we catch up with Ray and Emma in the same place. Presumably all the kids are there too, according to the little girl, and we find out they are indeed demons. So, if I had to take a shot in the dark here, I'd say they're good they're good demons. You know, they're demons that are not bored with whatever the other demons are doing. But I honestly have no clue. And, I do want to point out one thing, that they went into a lot about William Minerva last time, and I'm dying to know more about him. And someone reminded me last time that the pen, because I was like, whoa, that's some tech there. The pen was left by the first, not the first time, but one of the times we see it, I think the first time maybe, it's with Sister Crone, and we see that she gets it in a flashback, and it looks like I'm assuming she's like wherever, like their facilities, their headquarters are, or whatever, and somebody drops it and she picks it up. Was that William Minerva that dropped it? I don't know, because they show like two people talking, and when what looks like, some kind of professionals, so like maybe they're wearing lab coats, or it was kind of like in hazy flashback mode. So very, very curious about William Minerva, and I just hope we can catch up to him in time and that he's all right, and I don't know. I have a feeling like it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. It tends to be the case in most dramatic stories, particularly, last season of Promised Neverland was pretty nuts because it just felt like pretty much every episode it was like some big thing that we were leaving off on, and then I learned to hate those red flowers, and now there's a new red flowers, and they caught me off guard last time, guys. Oh, we got to retrain ourselves to hate whatever it was that came at the end. Whatever scene popped up. So one thing that somebody pointed out to me, and I think it's an excellent point, and I'm really wondering, like, now it's got me thinking too, and I hadn't even thought of this, was the wildlife did not look earthly. It looked a little otherworldly. And that might suggest they're not even on Earth. Which, honestly, like, I had guessed, are they in a different time? And then that was kind of because we saw the calendar and everything. We knew that wasn't the case. But, I mean, another world, I don't know why, but I don't think that ever crossed my mind. I mean, I know they're in, like, their own universe and everything. It's not supposed to be, I don't think, like, our modern day Earth, unless it is, and it's just been invaded by demons who want to eat children. But I don't know, you guys, and there is only one way to find out, and that is to jump right into the next episode. What do you say we go ahead and get started? Let's go. All right, guys, let's unpack that one a little bit. Well, we know exactly what's going on now after a long time of not being sure at all, and a lot of you had some really interesting theories. Like I said at the beginning of this one, are they not even on Earth at all? Is the year wrong? And so forth. And it turns out, I'm going to venture to guess, and I have zero evidence to back this up. Is the human world just like supposed to be our world? And this supposedly was done like 1,000 years ago. And if that is true, when they get to the human world, the humans aren't going to know anything about it. It'll just be like something that faded into ancient lore or something. Or maybe it's not supposed to be like our world at all. And there will be an awareness of this. But I mean, if it's been 1,000 years, there's a lot of evidence to suggest it just faded into obscurity. And like humans aren't even really going to be aware. If they're all being bred from like the same line, then there's like probably no reason at all for any of the demons to interact with any of the humans in the human world. Sounds like they can't. It sounds like they can't cross over. They haven't crossed over in a really long time. But wow, guys, so that clues me in a lot, because I've wondered for a long time, like, is this a post-apocalyptic society where like these demons have come and conquered Earth and taken over, and now there's very few humans left, and you know, the ones who are left are on these farms and everything? Or is there, well, now we know there's a human world and there's a demon world. There's like a human half of the world and a demon half of the world. And I just have to say, it says so much about our kids that upon hearing that for me, like I felt a lot of things. I wouldn't say like laughing with glee was one of them. And our kids immediately were just like, oh my God, there's hope. And that right there is what you need to know about them. Particularly Emma. And I think Emma has rubbed off a lot of it onto Ray. But just in general, that's why they have come this far. Because there's always, always, always that hope. And in a lot of ways, the fact that they're kids, it's almost kind of like the hopefulness of youth, you know, the promise of the future. And in a lot of ways, it's just, I think, specific to them, because we've seen what they've been able to overcome with that in their hearts. So that answers that question. They are neither in a different time or on a different world. Well, they are technically in a different world, on a different side of the world. There's a part of me that's still worried about when they get to the human world. And also there was like way more in regards to the farm than they thought. Because they knew there was like, the 5? They found out that there was like a few others. This would suggest there's many more than that. So now they have that to take care of. In addition to, so they got to go back, get Phil, get all the other kids. They got to get to the human world. They got to make sure all the other kids are freed. They have a long road ahead of them. The final scene, excuse me, with Emma, was really beautiful and heartbreaking in a lot of ways, because watching her lose some of that that innocence, you know, some of that childlike wonder, knowing that in order to take care of her family, all these kids and everything, she has to be able to take a life for survival. And again, there's like a lot of irony in that. I mean, the way, I guess you could say, I mean, he said that the humans, the brains are very, like, they eat the brains, which we knew. Do they need it to survive, or do they just like it? You know what I mean? I don't know. That wasn't clear. Maybe it was mentioned in that scene and it just kind of went over my head. I'll probably notice it either in editing or when you guys give me feedback. but assuming that they have to eat humans to survive, you know, there's kind of an irony, I think, in that. And there's kind of an irony in the fact that the humans were the ones who, you know, they came to this agreement of like, okay, you can have this X amount of humans to live off of in exchange for we never bother each other again. And they did that to survive. They did it to end, you know, what sounded like a lot of violence and war between the two peoples. So there's just a lot to unpack there. There is a lot to unpack. And seeing Emma when she came back, like you could tell she was different. You know, she'll always be Emma, and I really firmly believe that hope and determination, like that's just part of her. But you can see slowly some of that like innocence of youth kind of starting to get chipped away at a little bit as she tries to make this work, you know, make it so that they can survive, and get to this human world, apparently. So, I love the little scene where they're getting scolded. That was so sweet. I love that, I mean, they learned a lot. They did so much. Oh my God. You know, every once in a while, we need to be reminded that these kids are like, you know, primed to be especially smart, especially astute and everything like that, capable physically and everything. And that was kind of, to me, kind of a reminder of like, oh yeah, we're not just looking at like a bunch of kids. Like these are kids that are specially bred and raised to kind of be like top of the line, you know? So, because they picked that up quick. Ray picked up cooking really quick. And all of them were just, like, picking up a lot of stuff. Well, we know that not all of them are, like, they're all trained, you know, highly trained and everything on those farms. But we do actually know that there's usually, like, a top of the crop, kind of. And that's what Emma, Norman, and Ray were. Plus their age and everything. That was a good one, guys. That was a good one. I think this is going to be a very emotional season. I can't wait to see what's going to happen. And I am still very concerned for when they get to the human world. Let's face it. Like, it's not like, if it's this world, it's not like that's all simple either. Yes, they won't be, you know, targeted to be eaten, presumably. But, you know, I still just get this feeling that there's going to be new problems opened up. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they just get there and everything's good and they free all the kids and, you know, can we like introduce the demons to like tofu? Maybe, you know, some of those like soy burgers. You guys ever had like the Impossible Burger? The you know, they could make like an Impossible Kid. I don't know, something like that to that effect for them. This really makes me question if I want to be a vegetarian. Because, like, I'm saying, like, nah, they should learn a substitute. But then, like, you see how, like, they still have to kill living things to eat and everything. And it's like, is there a message in here? Is there a message in here? Should I be eating Impossible Burgers from now on? I've actually never had an Impossible Burger, but I may try one now. Alright guys, this is quickly degenerating into just a silly rant, so I'll wrap it up. I just can't wait to see what's going to happen next. As always, I'm like intrigued, emotionally overwhelmed, all of the above. Loved that episode. I hope you enjoyed watching it along with me. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. Please be sure to join me next time. We will watch it together. Bye for now, guys.